take that, and this is a BYU team that was one of the most hyped teams in the country prior to the start of the season, certainly delivered in the midst of a tough non-con schedule, right? Tough non-con schedule. And when they got into the start of the Big 12 schedule, I had them out in Provo against Arizona State. They won the game by 40. Like, there was no denying that this team was a juggernaut. They've lost 4 in a row. And we mentioned it yesterday on the show. Rob Wright didn't lose 4 in a row against when he was playing for Baylor. Like, he didn't, okay? Like, Rob Wright has lost 4 in a row. Look at this. We got a conversation going over here with Andrew and Paul, and we got – look at this. And we got – Garrett is like he's like the bouncer, dude. I'm like, Garrett, what's up, man? Catalina's in the house.
Sorry.
What up?
Sorry, Pete. Sorry, Pete.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Trust me, it's a lot better over here than any place I've been. I could, and I promise. But no. So this game is a make or break for both of these programs as far as this season is concerned. And I go back to earlier in the year talking to Coach Drew, right? And he's been on shows in this studio on 365 Sports. He's been on with Mosley, and I have talked to him in person prior to games about the gigantic bug up his rear about Rob Wright and how he left the school. Now, if you're just watching for the first time or you're unfamiliar with the situation, Rob Wright, Baylor really was loyal to Rob, right? He signed a contract, which means nothing anymore, but he signed a contract to stay with Baylor. Baylor passed on other big-time guards that wanted to play at the school because Scott wanted to stay loyal to Rob. And then, like a jilted lover, Baylor gets left at the altar in the 11th hour, and Rob leaves for the hottest girl in town. And at the time, that's BYU and AJ DiBonzo, right? So this sound right here, it's almost as though this is a very unique piece of sound I'm about to play you, or Cam's about to play you. I love when I calling up sound. I need to do this more often, Cam, so I can kind of boss you around. Cam, we're going to do it like this, okay? I'm going to say, just when I finish this number, play it, okay? Cam, stop 42.
I mean, that's what makes college basketball fun. It makes people want to go to games. I mean, we expect our crowd to be intimidating, and as long as we don't cross the line, that's part of the home court advantage. And at the end of the day, I know when we go on the road, you face hostile crowds, and that's why it's partly hard to win on the road. And again, Rob, when he played here, a lot of good memories. Obviously, it's hard anytime people leave your program, but that happens more and more. You prefer it to be not after they sign a contract with you, but it is what it is.
That is not typical Scott Drew, because we know him to be the ultimate class act who flies above all the rest of us who roll around in the mud. I think that lets you know there's 2 things that jump out to me with that point he makes. One, I mean, obviously he's still frustrated. There's 3 things, actually. One, it's major frustration, and look, man, there's resentment there, right? We got to, as a sober dude who deals with Alcoholics Anonymous, like you got to clear the deck of resentments, man. And Scott is yet to be able to do that with this, okay? He's human like the rest of us, by the way. We all have our resentments, but they're not healthy. Okay, 2, I really do think he's trying to evoke change, and he's trying to just rail on the system that he is now working in, much to the effect that his best buddy, Jerome Tang, is doing the same thing every so often. And 3, I really do think he is saying, like, look how this impacted our team. Like, like it's not only impacting, maybe he hasn't said this, but like there's an argument to be made, like if Rob Wright's on this team, Mikey Ratai's having a better year. There's an argument to be said. So there's all kinds of, it's just all a part of this snowball effect. Now, Cam, I want to bring you in because we don't have too much more time left on our show today. We got off to a little bit of a late start, but we're rolling in our new 365 studios. Cam, are you there? Jesus Christ. I called this guy twice.
Yeah.
Cam, get off your phone, okay, and be there for me when I need you.
Sorry, Pete.
That's all right, buddy.
Mhm.
You can be on your phone all you want. I'm just happy. I'm
I
really
was
just
actually, I
happy you're
did
here.
think that I was looking at something I thought was going to be good sound for right now, but it's not.
Of course you were. You were always, honestly, Cam, you do such a great job. This has been such a fruitful deal. Okay, but and I can call on you for something like this. I'm going to say something, and I want you to finish the sentence, okay?
Let's do it. It's like therapy. Let's go.
Rob Wright coming back to Baylor tonight and playing at Foster Pavilion is?
Hostile. Like that was the word I was trying to go for, but I can't really do it in one word. It's
That's good. So talk to me about why is it okay that Scott, because we got a lot of Big 12 fans who will watch this show later on into the night before the game for sure.
Mhm.
BYU fans as well. Why is it right that Baylor fans are pissed at Rob? From somebody who graduated from the school, covers Baylor.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to give free rides, but the dude does do Locked On Baylor, which has nothing to do with any of us.
So here's the thing that I keep coming back to with a situation like this. And it all comes down to if we're going to do the NIL and transfer portal thing and everyone just kind of throws it out there like, oh, it's just becoming pro sports, then fine. We need to treat it like pro sports then. And this is something that would happen in pro sports. For the umpteenth time today in this episode, I'll reference the Boston Celtics because we had Kyrie Irving here, right? Big time trade to get him in here. And before his final season, he said, I'd like to resign if y'all will have me. And then he didn't. And he forced his way out. And they still have not gotten over it. You know, he plays against them in the finals 5 years later, and they're booing the crap out of him, you know, the whole time. Like, this is the situation. There was a contract there that Rob Wright signed. And hey, I get it. NCAA these days, these things don't hold up. But that doesn't mean that you can't be pissed off about that. Like, Baylor fans should be pissed off about that. Like, that you're not a bad person for booing this guy. You want to handle this that way and, you know, kind of slimily sneak your way out of the contract, whether it's him or his dad or whomever, and then go to the highest bidder and go under the guise of, oh, well, this is a better place to get more attention for the NBA, then that's what's going to come to you here. Like, you know, you're going to come back, your interconference transfer here. You know, you're going to come back. You know, the student section basically bleeds into the BYU family section. Like, if this is going to be pro sports, it's going to be pro sports. And this is what would happen to you in an NBA arena if you did the same thing to them. You know, we tout that. We tout how great the atmospheres are in college basketball. That's two things coming together. Okay. It's totally fine. Totally fine. Boo him every time he touches the ball.
Two more questions on this for you.
Hold on, I kind of just want to go on my phone for a minute, if you don't mind.
What did you think of Scott Drew sort of encouraging a pointed type of behavior from his student body? I have not been around Baylor nearly as long as you have. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say nearly. It's not like you're an old man.
Yeah.
You're not like David Smoke, who's going to sit here later on. But like, you know, Smoke is a guy who's been around it for a very long time. Yes, you've been around it for a very long time, but not super long. All right. Do you ever recall Scott Drew with the call to arms to the fan base like that on a person, on an individual players?
Yeah, no, not to a player. No, never. And honestly, I'd never heard him have a soundbite like he had talking about the contract. That's just not something I'd ever heard from Scott Drew. And I think that's sort of born out of the James Najee thing too, a little bit, don't you think? With how many people came after him for that. And he's just like, man, like, this is what we're dealing with. And I need bodies. I need a player. Like, here I get an opportunity to talk about how we had our best player under contract and he left. So no, I have not seen that. I've obviously hear him call to arms quite a bit for a crowd and an atmosphere and all that, but never towards one player. It didn't happen to LJ Cryer, which I think is kind of the interesting mirror image of this. Is like, LJ played for you for a couple of years, won a national championship as a reserve, and comes back in conference playing for your conference rivals, but he didn't have a contract signed. You know,
that wasn't that big a deal, really.
Yeah,
hey, how about this?
It stunk.
So here's what Scotty B, the Baylor King. I expect more boos for Rob Wright than Donald Sloan from Texas A&M ever did the 2009 year after Sloan did a self-oop done to himself in 2008. Scotty B, thanks so much. By the way, we got one here. Bear the Truth is like kind of depressed. Hey, Pete, looking good. Sorry it's been a minute. But, man, losing interest in sports these days. Tonight is the night, brother. Tonight is the night where you get back into sports, Scotty B, the Baylor King. And you got to – don't.
That was Bear.
I'm sorry, Bear the Truth. And you got to get back on Locked On, right? I mean, that's – I guess he stopped watching because Cam's too positive. Is that
Yeah,
which, by the way, if Cam's too positive for you, Brian, you know I love you. If Cam's too positive for you, you got a problem I can't solve. And I love you, Bear the Truth. All right, so –
By the way, I mean, Sports Week, if we're talking about bad sports weeks, Pete, I last minute went to the Beanpot Championship last night, college hockey tournament in Boston. I knew my BU Terriers were up against it with this great BC team. And we had awesome seats, lower bowl. BU gets their ass kicked 6-2. 2 championship losses in 2 days for me. And that second one probably hurt more.
What's your affiliation with BU?
I've just always been a fan of theirs. That's the only school that I root for that I don't actually have a real connection to. But BU
Howard
hockey
went there.
is always. What's that?
Howard went there.
No way.
Howard Stern,
I did know that.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the last question for you, BU Baylor specific. As far as tonight's crowd is concerned, this has been a lukewarm Baylor support system all year long, and for good reason, right? I mean, like they outside of the Washington win at home, right? Like they have not had a ton to cheer for at home.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and I could be missing something, but I that's what jumps out at me. I did a bunch of the non-con games filling in for JMO on radio. You know, it was what it was. Like that's who you play in those types of situations. Baylor certainly had a tough enough non-con schedule, but it's just not going well for them in the Big 12. How do you think the fans turn out tonight? Like, is it a sellout? And are they really hard on Rob?
I think it's close to a sellout tonight. I think you'll get quite a few BYU fans there too. Not like 50% or anything, but I think you'll have a good BYU contingency. And I do think they will be hard on Rob. I do. And that's because I'm feeling the frustration of Baylor basketball fans. Those who haven't gone into full apathy have been really, really frustrated at this season. And I get it, right? Like the downhill kind of slope that Baylor's been on the last couple of years. And I think the fans are smart enough to see it. And I think they're hearing it from Scott Drew that, for lack of a better way to put this, we're in a tight spot right now because that guy's playing for BYU. And obviously it's not that simple, but I think a lot of Baylor fans look at how often they're turning the ball over, how much they don't have a floor general, and how the guy that they had locked up to have the keys to this car, sore subject for you, is playing for the other team.
Yeah.
And a team in their conference. And one where he says, I have a better chance of becoming an NBA player. And I get Kevin Young obviously has all the NBA ties, but Scott Drew has been just as good as anybody is putting guys in the NBA the last 5-10 years. So it is going, I think it's going to be charged up. I really do. I think the students were the ones that were really PO'd with LJ Cryer a few years ago. And I think this is worse than the LJ Cryer thing. So I do think they're going to be pretty charged up for this.
Yeah, I think it's way worse. Let's play a quick game, one more game, and then we'll leave. I promise. Let's do you haven't looked at the odds for tonight's game, have you?
I haven't. No.
All right, I'd like to play a little in honor of the great. By the way, what'd you say?
Like a Han Solo, right? I don't care about the odds. Don't give me the odds. Yeah.
All right, Han, hold on.
Watched The Fugitive on the plane ride home the other day.
Oh,
God, what a good movie, man.
What a movie.
I hadn't seen it in like 8 to 10 years or so.
Great Joey Pants in that movie. Great Joey Pants. Okay.
Good Ralph Cifaretto.
Joey Pants. He's a Hoboken guy. He's a sober guy. I used to see him in meetings in Hoboken. He's from Hoboken.
No way.
Okay. I had just gotten sober, and he was at a meeting that I was at, and for whatever, I did. You don't know what you don't know. I was basically like born again when you get sober, and he was in a meeting, and I was going to share, and I was like nervous to share. I was like, oh my God, Joey Pants is here. If I say something, it's got to be really important. And right when I went to share, somebody flushed the bathroom in this, like, it was like a church basement. Somebody flushed the toilet in the bathroom, and there was a sign that clearly said, "Don't flush the toilet." So I'm giving this great share, about what's going on with my life, being vulnerable as it relates to alcoholism. And everybody gets up. They're like, "Don't flush the toilet." And so everything I was saying that I thought was like so awesome, was just went down the tubes with
Joey
with
Pants
everything.
watching, man.
Joey
Crazy.
All right,
He's a really good actor, by the way.
very good.
Like he's in so much stuff. Anyway, we don't need to do a Joey Pants.
Yeah, no, but Joey Pants, we do say one thing in the rooms too. Some are sicker than others. Joey Pants has a lot of stuff going. Like, he's just got a lot of different things. Okay, so okay, I shouldn't have said that, but I did. All right, so
I mean, people have stuff going on in an AA meeting, Pete. I don't think you're revealing too much.
Thank you. Great point. All right, so what do you think the line is for tonight? Guess it.
BYU on a 4-game losing streak.
Yep.
On the road, but still clearly the better team. 3.5 to BYU.
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah. Now, when you look, BYU, they're coming off the Oklahoma State loss that you and I saw together in the hotel in San Bruno.
What a time that was, man.
What a time. That was a bad loss. That was a bad loss.
Yeah. 99 points. Oof.
You kind of get the Houston loss, although it was at home. But yeah,
tonight. But you look at those 3 of the 4 were home games. I know they were all against top 15 teams, but sorry, man, you fancy yourself to win 2 of those.
Yeah, you have to.
If you're that good.
You have to. So, all right. Well, this is a huge game for BYU, man. And I think it's, by the way, the start time's a little tricky. 6 p.m. local.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Love that, man. Love that. I thought for sure they were sticking us with Central Time Zone and Mountain Time Zone. I thought for sure they were sticking us at the 9 p.m. Eastern.
No, it's a great start time. And again, Monaco, Miles Simon, that's a huge game. It's a lot of fun. So we'll be talking about it tomorrow. We're going to chat with Doug McNamee later on today. I'm going to ask him a little bit about, where Coach Drew's head's at. But I'm also curious, what's the number one thing you would want to ask Doug McNamee, Cam, while I have you?
I mean, it's not my number one thing, but I will put it out there because I have people ask me about it every week, and that is beer. Everyone asks about beer at football games, man. And there's some inkling that Doug McNamee might be the guy to change that.
Does that matter?
It doesn't to me, and obviously not to you.
I think it's way overrated.
Yeah, I understand why people want it. I do.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think you should have beer. Don't get me wrong. It's a football game. You should have beer.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's not there, that's not why you're not winning. Like
right.
So right. let's put it into the proper context.
I am interested in how much of a revenue stream it is, though. Yeah. I heard about when they sold it at that concert last year. It was across Canadian, I think. And it was a pretty big bill they got out of it, pretty big revenue generator. And so, like, if we're going to be nickel and diming this in this NIL world, maybe that is a good way to go.
And in Morgantown, I know, and they were struggling this year. We were talking about NIL. I do think that they get $2 million a year from alcohol sales, like just football.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
that's something, Pete. That's something.
Oh yeah, that's something. That's a left tackle. I mean, right?
Yeah, I'd like to ask how he thinks about Jeff Traylor and GJ Kinney and some.
I'm not asking.
Just get some preliminary thoughts.
I'm not asking that. All right, Cam Stewart.
That's why you're doing it and I'm not, Pete. Among many other reasons.
Cam, you're the best. Garrett, thank you so much. Andrew was in here a little bit from the Turf Club. Man, what a goddamn great